you say gin? Gin, gin, gin. It's still summer. We're still drinking gin. Welcome back. I keep doing it, folks. I got another subscriber today. Woohoo! You know, these other shows, you know, they get hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I'm happy with 26. There's 26 people that care about, you know, what's going on behind our drinks. So tonight on Boozing with Jude, I can't believe I have never made this. The Tom Collins, a classic. It's an absolute classic. Yes, it is. And I'm going to tell you about it. First thing I'm going to tell you is it's made with gin. Now there's a Collins family. You know, Jackie Collins, Joan Collins. We're not talking about them. The Collins families of drinks, of cocktails, you know, they can be made with whiskey, they can be made with tequila, they can be made with rum, they can be made with different types of gin, Jennifer, Old Tom, London Dry, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, we're going to do as close to the traditional Tom Collins as I can tonight. So first I'm going to tell you about the Tom Collins. Where did it come from? Who created it? Okay, we can argue back and forth. America, Britain. You know me. I used to live in London. Not that I'm bragging. And I'm going to go with our Brit friends. So rumor has it that in the 1820s and 1830s, the head barman of a place called the Limmer Hotel on Conduit Street, that's in London, his name was John Collins. And he was a chubby, happy guy with a twinkle in his eye, they say. Now, I don't know about you, but who doesn't like a chubby guy with a twinkle in his eye? I certainly do. Now, did he create the drink? No, but he made a pretty fine gin punch. Well, a lot of people made a pretty fine gin punch, but John Collins made one too. And a gin punch is very similar to this drink. Very similar. I don't really even know the difference. But, okay. Did he create the Tom Collins? No, he did not. That credit goes to an American guy in London by the name of Stephen Price, who was like the head of a place called the Garrick Club. And I'm guessing it was on Garrick Street. I don't know if it's still there or not. Anyways, Stephen Price was like a jerk. Nobody liked him. He didn't have a twinkle in his eye and he wasn't chubby. So you know what? He might have created the gin punch. And then we got John Collins over here tweaking around with the gin punch. And there you have it. Now, why is it called the Tom Collins, Jude? You know, who knows? I'm going to tell you the story about the great Tom Collins hoax of 1874. So this drink, you know, in America, you know, we like our fun stuff. We like our gin punches. So apparently it was a popular drink. And it was made originally with Jennifer. And a while back, I told you Jennifer is like Dutch Holland gin, right? It's very different than London Dry. But they started using it with a gin called Old Tom Gin, which still exists and you can get today. Old Tom Gin kind of falls somewhere between London Dry Gin, which is dry, and very juniper forward, and Jennifer. And so Old Tom Gin is, you know, it's obviously juniper berries make the gin, but it's sweeter, a little bit more well-rounded, and so people liked it, and woohoo, so maybe that's why it got the name Tom Collins over in the United States. But let's look at it this way. The great Tom Collins hoax of 1874. I guess they thought this was hilarious, but I don't know. Maybe humor is funny in some years and not funny in others. So the hoax goes like this. You're standing there and somebody comes up to you that knows you and is like, have you heard what Tom Collins has been saying about you? And you're like, who, what? It's like, there's this guy named Tom Collins and he's slandering you everywhere. He's saying you're like a thief and you're like a really bad person. And you might want to go check him out and find Tom Collins and stop this. You know, the newspaper was reporting Tom Collins sightings. So I guess the deal is if you walked into a bar and said, I'm looking for Tom Collins, that might give the bartender a chance to serve you up a drink. Who knows? I'm going to make the Tom Collins tonight. I'm going to make it with London Dry Gin. I don't have Old Tom Gin. I'm not a huge fan, but you know what? If you like a teeny bit sweeter and, you know, somewhere like that, please, by all means, Heyman's, who did the slow gin that we had the other night, they make an Old Tom Gin. You can get, tends to be pricey, I find, but I'm going to make it this way. All you have to do is replace the gin. If you want to make it with Jennifer, some Holland gin, you can do that too. So, what are the ingredients? Basically, it's gin, it's lemon juice, freshly squeezed, of course. It is simple syrup, which we know is 1 part sugar, 1 part water, warmed up till it's melted. And also we're going to top it off with some club soda. And I've got Fever Tree. The key is 2 keys. Make things cold. I unfortunately didn't get enough time to get the club soda really cold, but you want this drink cold. And secondly, how is it different than it's a gin sour, but it's a gin sour minus like an egg white, and it's in a Collins glass, a taller glass. I'm using my mother's crystal tonight. I don't know the history of this crystal, but I know that as a little girl, and that was like 462 years ago when I was growing up, she had this crystal set. It's now mine. So we'll credit my mom for the Collins glasses because that's where I got them from. And let's go make this drink. So let's fill our shaker up with ice. No, let's not do that. I keep doing that, don't I? Don't put the ice in it till last because we don't want to like dilute this one. Some drinks it's cool because they're pretty alcoholic and you want to dilute them. But remember, folks, I'm not a bartender. I'm just a person who makes drinks at home and then drinks them. So let's put the ingredients in first. So we're going to do 2 ounces of whichever type of gin you choose. You might want to use one of your favorite like gins with a lot of botanicals in it. It doesn't have to be London Dry. I'm just going kind of straight here. I like the London Dry taste. It's crisp. It's juniper forward. But you know what? By all means, if you like gin and you like sour and you like sweet, put whatever kind of gin you want in it. So now we've got 1 ounce of freshly squeezed lemon juice. Should have kind of emptied that out before I dumped a little bit on my lap. I'm going to smell like gin. Oh, big surprise there. All right, so 1 ounce of freshly squeezed lemon juice, which I just squeezed tonight. Put that baby in there. And then we're going to do a 1/2 ounce of simple syrup just to sweeten it up. And kind of wipe this gin off my table. Anyways, wow, Jude. This is a high-class show, man. High production value. A lot of money goes into this. Okay, so 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. And then we're going to fill this with a lot of ice. And we're going to shake her up. Obviously, we don't want to put the club soda in there to shake. Why not? Well, I don't know. It might fizz all over. I've already spilled gin on me. All right, so we're going to do this. Get it nice and tight. And shake her away. I always wanted to play Shake Your Booty in the background. Now, those of you who are like young, you won't even know what I'm talking about, but shake, shake, shake. So when you feel that shaker getting really cold, you know you got it. Okay, now we're going to strain this into our glass that already has ice in it. And it's been in the freezer and it's cold. And we're going to top it with about 2 to 3 ounces of club soda. Whatever you feel like. It's got a lot of ice in there. I'm not going to measure it. Some people do. When I come to the fizz, I just pour her in. If it's cold, which sadly this isn't, it won't fizz up too much. But, be careful when you're pouring it because you don't want to, spill more. This is precious stuff. Now, the key to the Tom Collins is a garnish. And it's supposed to be a lemon, and a slice of lemon, and a cherry. So I've got my Traverse City cherry. It's kind of like a Maraschino. It's really clever. It's lovely. And this is the Tom Collins. You know what? Because I'm going to stir it. You don't have to. I'm going to stir it up a little bit just because I don't want a big sip of club soda. Not that I'm averse to club soda, but, I'm making a cocktail. I want to taste the rest of it. So here we go. Let's see. To my English friends again, you guys, man, why don't you just drink all the time? Just create drinks and drink them. And to the great Tom Collins hoax of 1874, which really just isn't that funny, to my mom for the Tom Collins glasses. Let's check her out. You know what? I could have just kept drinking that and downed it in one drink. Now, that's really gross. And as my mom would say, that's not very ladylike. But you know what? I'm hot. It's hot. It's still summer. I love it. I mean, it's waning. I'm really sad. And I just took Max, we haven't mentioned her, for a big walk tonight. It's still really hot. And this just, oh man, folks, oh yeah. Okay, well, I won't sit here and drink it in front of you. That is the classic Tom Collins. Remember, if you prefer some other kind of spirit other than gin, you can make it with anything. It's called something different with each one, but I don't remember the names. Ron, Tom, Dick, Harry, Judy Collins. Maybe there's a Judy Collins. Remember her? Did she sing? Wasn't she on Laugh-In or something? Anyways, let's call it the Judy Collins. Well, it's not. It's the Tom Collins. So, guys, look, as always, I appreciate you joining me and taking a few minutes to find out about the classic Tom Collins. And who knows what next time's going to bring you. But I'm looking forward to doing it and making another drink for you here on Boozing with Jude. Peace out. Have a good night, folks.
Got in my way. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's clouds' illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds at all. Moons and Junes and Ferris wheels, the dizzy